Hello guys, this is Behemoth and this is another one from the subscribers base. It is Bike in one of my most beloved tanks of all time, the Jagdpanther. Now the Jagdpanther is a very dangerous tank and it can equip one of two guns that's actually quite valid for a top gun actually. And Bike here has equipped the 105. It has higher alpha damage, a little bit less penetration than the long 88. The long 88 has the higher DPM, the better rate of fire, and only 3 penetration more, but it has about 80 damage less, 80 average damage that is, 320 damage for the 105 and 240 for the long 88. Now here he is in a tier 9 battle, not a great matchup for the Jagdpanther, but it does mean that you can get a whole lot of damage in, especially if you get a E75 unawares or another big enemy heavy tank. From the side you have no problems with this 105 gun. 200mm of penetration is quite good. So we're just looking around. He wants to go for the bursting, but of course, as always, enemies are on the other side of this little valley and they're always sniping from the other side. Bursting just gets destroyed by the AMX 5120 before he could swing his gun in. Gets a good shot in on the object 416. Hopefully he reloads in time to finish it off. And now he has enough alpha damage to finish it off before someone else took the kill. He did take a shot from the T-54 though, and that guy most likely was around the village area at D3, because the shot came from the left side. Now we're just waiting on the enemy team to make a move, or our team to make their move, because the Jagdpanther is not a very well armored tank. You can very much bounce anything, or a lot of things, from the gun method. It is quite large, but if the enemy has a little bit of brain, then they will just not shoot for the gun method and anywhere else on the Jagdpanther, and they will actually penetrate. And especially in tier 9 battles, it will just go through almost anywhere they like. There's an AT-15 on the enemy team that's just been spotted. Unfortunately, he is behind a little bit of a rock, but nothing else is in his near vicinity on this spot, so he just moves around the other side of the rock, seeing if he can shoot anything in the village. But nope, the big house is in the way. Of course, that house is unbreakable and is quite large. Shot has been fired near his direction, and yep, the AT-15 actually had a shot at him. Unfortunately for the Bike, he just hit a strike and did not track him. But the AT-15 is now focusing in on the AT-15 is focused in on his position. That's what I wanted to say. He is. And he is somewhere there, but oh, there's the IS-6. And because of the angling of the IS-6, he has a very well angled front armor, but he was angled downward, so the front of his front plate actually neglected the sloping, so the shell easily penetrated right through. Those enemy teams still are behind the big house, so that's a no-go. Trying to get some shots in, but unfortunately that will not happen unless they move far back or more further up. They will most likely move further up because it's 3 tier 8s against 3 tier 9s. The IS-8 does get taken out though by the Ferdinand. Ferdinand of course has a really dangerous gun. Has no problem dealing with an IS-8 from the front. There's now a little bit of a stalemate. The FCM is about to die, is actually died just now. E75 on very low health on that flank. So that most likely means that the enemies that are on the right side of the map actually will move up. So Bike actually has a good shot on their sides. Meanwhile, if you look at the map, the left side of the map is completely getting run over by the T-54 and the IS-8. And now it just runs into a stalemate. ISU-152 makes a run for it. It looks like he has the derp gun from the SU-152. So he quickly takes care of that before the big massive HE shell comes for his face. The two Rheinmetall Ballistics are still on the sniping spot, but the VK3002D is going ham and going forward for the E75 side. The Rheinmetall actually tracks him, but just missed him. But now a good shot into the engines will most likely be the end of the VK, and yes, the E75 reloads before the Rheinmetall and Bike does. Now the Tiger 2 on the left side is dead, so the tier 9s are actually dead. But there is a almost full health, is on 700 or 800 health. He can one-shot the T-54 if it gets a good shot in. Yep. And gets a little bit of a low roll, I think. Or he doesn't have the big gun, I think. The gun that does 750 alpha damage, I think. Just has the one that does 490. Now the IS-8 is a one-shot kill, but so is the Rheinmetall Ballistic, but not before he drowns actually. How? I have no idea what happened there. Maybe if you get over there then we actually see what happens. Maybe he was pushed in or just slipped and fell. That's always a good possibility. Now Bike could stop and let the IS-8 come, but he can always take a good position up here. Because the IS-8 is on very low health, he can actually be one-shotted by Bike if he does it low roll on him massively. Remember, for 320 health or 320 alpha damage. So with a high roll he could one-shot him, but he rolls high, but not high enough to actually kill him. And the IS-8 actually bounced. He doesn't hide completely. He gets a shot in. He shoots actually his viewport of the IS-8, and the IS-8 actually shot the Jagdpanther of the Jagdpanther. The one spot there it actually can bounce a whole lot of shells. Now the IS-8 bounced again. Maybe he's using auto aim for the Jagdpanther, but that would be quite stupid actually. And the Lorraine finishes him off before the IS-8 could reload, or Bike could reload at the same time. Full health, 80-15 and Rheinmetall Ballistic going up against each other. 80-15 gets the first shot in, and the second shot. I think the Rheinmetall Ballistic actually missed or bounced. The 80-15 is of course quite well armored. It does have that quite massive weak spot on top of it though. And with a good enough gun, the sides of the tank actually can be penetrated very easily from the front. That meaning the sides from the gun. Bike unfortunately just bounced on the 80-15. So the 80-15 is coming forward for him. He cannot one-shot him. Does get a high roll though, but unfortunately only leaves it on 67 health. Does reload, and the 80-15 bounced on the Jagdpanther, surprisingly enough. And the Rheinmetall Ballistic moved up and come from the other side, so that most likely will mean the death of the Lorraine 15550. Unless he can quickly move backwards or shoot him in the face, just derp him outright, and he does. Brave 155 derps the Rheinmetall and completely kills it. Now the problem with the enemies is that they all shoot at the gun method, and actually one shot at the at the left side track at a really weird angle, I think, and just completely bounced dead. Now don't shoot at the combat or at the weird angle, because you will bounce, as you can see. The Jagdpanther is not a very armored tank, and shooting at the wrong places at the wrong angles will of course make anything bounce. Now the Rheinmetall ballistic actually kills the Lorraine 155, so that means that the Rheinmetall has pretty good camo rating, of course being a low vehicle. But it also means that the Rheinmetall is in range of the cap zone. Now if the Rheinmetall ballistic, oh, he comes from the other side. Rheinmetall ballistic has the 490 gun. The radio man gets taken out, and the Jagdpanther will of course reload before the Rheinmetall ballistic does. He does have the 490 gun, but maybe the gun was damaged or the loader was killed, because it actually took, I think, about 8 or 9 seconds for him to reload. And the reload time of the Jagdpanther is actually so good that it can beat that, even when shooting reliably. He gets a good roll on the Jagdpanther, but the Jagdpanther survives and completely derps him in the face with his 50cm gun and finishes Bike off for the victory of the enemy team. Very unlucky, but it most likely will be a very good score for Bike in his Jagdpanther. And here we see that it was actually a very good score from Bike. He got over 50,000 credits and 16,000, or no, 1653 experience. Now that is with premium and with a mission of some sort. I can't remember which one, but it helped him with the end score for the experience. As you can see, he damaged a lot of guys, but not only that, he spotted the Jagdpanther, but he spotted and assisted with the damage for the most part. The I-6, the Object 416, the M26 Pershing. Although it not being too much, so for the M26 Pershing you only got 45 spotting damage on him, and some on the IS-8 only 21, and the rest he did a whole lot of damage against higher tiered enemies, and that's the most important thing. Those enemies were mostly higher tiered name. Now looking at the team score, he got on top of his team score with 919 base experience. And well, the enemy here had some very good players, the two Rheinmetall ballistic and the T-54. They got above 1000 base experience, which is very good. Just unfortunate that the Jagdpanther survived on so little health that he did, and unfortunately gave the victory to the enemy team and the loss to Bike and his team. Going on to the detailed report, 15 shots fired and the damage done is 3127, which is very good for a tier 7 in a tier 9 game. And a lot of those tier 9, or lots of those damage were actually dealt to those tier 9s. Potential damage received 3000, which is not to be underestimated, because the Jagdpanther is not a very armored tank, so anything that shoots it will most likely hit, penetrate and do damage. So surviving almost 4 or 5 times its total HP pool is a very good thing he did. Damage due to player assistance 1247. A lot of it was on one particular vehicle. On the IS-6 he did 1033 potential damage, spawning damage upon him. So that was a very good victory from Bike in his Jagdpanther.